Hey everybody, Neil Thompson from Teach the Geek here. I work with technical professionals so they can present more effectively, especially in front of non-technical audiences. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. If your audience leaves your presentations confused, bored, or scrolling their phones, it's not their fault, it's yours. So let's fix that. In this solo episode, I'm going to talk about why brilliant technical people give boring presentations and how to fix it. So here's the first thing. Engineers know a lot. A whole lot. But here's the trap. When you understand something deeply, you forget what it's like to not understand it. And I've seen this time and time again. We get these technical degrees, you take on these technical roles, and you just assume that everyone you speak to understands what you understand. But what you fail to understand is that you didn't always understand what you now understand. You had to go through those technical courses and get that degree. You have to get that technical job and get experience in that role to now know what you know. So the people that you're speaking to, if you're speaking to a non-technical audience, they didn't do any of that. So why would they naturally understand what you now know as an expert? You use all the jargon and you skip steps and you just assume people have the same background. And the next thing you know, the audience is lost. And when people are lost, they stop listening. So a way to fix that is to ask yourself, what does the audience absolutely need to know to get the point? And stop there. Don't go too overboard and overload them with way more information than they need to know to get that question answered, because there's only so much that a non-technical audience member can take in at any given time. So you want to make sure that what you give them is something that they can handle. And I think we all can understand that because we've been members in audiences in which the person giving the presentation overloads us with information and we stop listening. And yet when we give presentations, we don't take our own advice. So basically eat your own food and then don't be that person that overloads people with information thinking that they'll just get it like you do. They likely won't. And if they don't get it, then they'll tune out. Here's another thing. If your slides are tiny font screenshots of your last report, you didn't prepare a presentation. You copy and pasted homework. PowerPoint isn't supposed to be a script. It's support. So when you overload slides with text, the audience chooses between reading and listening. And guess which one they tend to do? Read. And if they read, well, they're likely going to miss something that you said. And then what good was the whole presentation? A fix for this is to use slides to highlight a key image or a key phrase or a clear data point. Because in all honesty, the focus should be you and not the screen. God knows there's been many instances in which I've been in the audience of a presentation, a technical presentation, and you'll look at a slide and it's full of images. Now, I'm a big fan of images as opposed to a lot of text, but if you have a whole lot of images on a slide, that's just as confusing as a whole lot of text because the people in the audience don't know what they should be looking at any given time during the presentation. Especially if you're a more nervous presenter and maybe you have a laser pointer and your laser pointer is all shaky trying to point at all the various images. People just don't know what they're supposed to be looking at any given time because the pointer's going all over the place and then they start to tune out as well. And plus it's overwhelming to look at a whole lot of images at any given time. So I'm a bigger fan of minimizing the number of images per slide so people know exactly what they should be focusing on. And then the point about a short phrase, the more words you have on a slide, the bigger the likelihood people are to read the slides and possibly miss something that you say during the presentation. So that's why I'm a fan of minimizing the number of words on a slide as well, because when you do that, you minimize the risk of people reading and not listening to what you have to say. And then when it comes to a clear data point, you don't want people to think too hard about what they're supposed to get from the slide. You don't want them thinking too hard. You want it to be clear as day as to why what's on the slide is on the slide, especially if you're talking to a non-technical audience doesn't have the same level of technical expertise in you. You want to make it as easy for them as possible. Here's another thing. when many technical people may think if I mess up, people will think I'm incompetent. And to combat that, they'll memorize every word, they'll stand stiff as a board, and they'll sound like a robot. But here's the truth. People don't need perfection. They need connection. So the more robotic you are, the less credible you seem. And I think I've absolutely been in audiences where the person seems to have memorized every word because they are worried about appearing incompetent or not appearing as the expert that they are. But then it's also very boring to listen to. You just think you're listening to someone just drone on, and when you get that, then people often will tune you out as well. So I'm a bigger fan of memorizing not an entire presentation, but memorizing all the points you want to make, and then when you practice the presentation so that you hit all the points in the right order. And you practice until you can do that on a consistent basis. Because I assume that the order in which the points come matters. There's a logical order to them. And you certainly don't want to miss any of those points in your presentation. So just practice your presentation so that you hit all those points in the order you want to hit them. So that by the time you give the presentation, it's second nature. You're hitting the points, you're hitting them in the order in which you want to hit them, and it's easy for the people listening to your presentation to follow along. And here's one other thing. A presentation isn't about showing what you know. It's about showing why it matters to the people listening. If you can't answer why should they care, then you're not ready to speak. Yeah, I fully agree with this. And when I say this, it's easy for someone with a lot of technical expertise to just prattle on about all the things that they know, thinking that, well, this is what you all should know as well. But I mean, as I said earlier, you went through a lot of schooling. You have this technical role in which you focus on this topic every day. It's not possible for a non-technical audience member to take in everything that you think is important. Because in a lot of instances, there's only certain things they need to know anyway. So figuring out what do these people need to know? What problem does this solve for the audience in terms of your presentation? Have that question in mind when you're putting a presentation together. If you're talking to a CEO, for instance, they're all about the big picture. They don't need to know the minutia of a project. I mean, if you're talking to a technical person, another technical person, perhaps they do want to know those technical details. So essentially, knowing who you're talking to, who are the people in the audience, and tailoring presentations to those people, as opposed to just presenting what you think is important, because it's not about you. It's about what the people in the audience need to take away from your presentation. So to really wrap this all up, what I really want to get out there is that as a technical person, we're not boring. We're passionate and we're talented people. The problem isn't intelligence, it's communication. And so to recap the points that I made, number one, you want to avoid the curse of knowledge. Number two, you want to let slides support and not replace you. Number three, you want to let go of perfection and connect instead to your audience. And number four, make it about the audience. It's not about you. It's about what they need to get from you. And if you do those things, your presentations will improve tremendously. Trust me. So certainly, if you are a leader with technical staff and you're listening to this and this all seems to make sense to you and you want your people to present clearly and confidently, let's talk, because I run programs designed specifically for technical people like engineers and scientists, so they can communicate better with non-technical audiences. And certainly, if you go to my website, teachthegeek.com, you can learn more about that. And I'll also include information in the description to this episode. So again, my name is Neil Thompson. I'm the founder of Teach the Geek. I work with technical professionals so they can present more effectively, especially in front of non-technical audiences. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. And until next time, take care and stay safe.